Hello everybody, my name's TankRunner, and welcome to a special Halloween edition of Drawing Roulettes and World Building. Today we're going to continue working on our project to create a new Pokemon region. Last episode we worked on the Pokemon you can find in our region's second wild area. Babu, the emu Pokemon, who evolves into Cassowar, Suddy Ruddy, the water rat Pokemon, who evolves into Tramahera, and Rockrile, the crocodile Pokemon, who evolves into Crockade, and then Kragon. In this video, I'll be covering one of the forests in our region and the new Pokemon you can find there. But I want to kick us off with a few updates and some world building. So if you're not interested in that and you just want to skip to the part where you get to see all the adorable monsters, here's a time code for that. We don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to go ahead and make this quick. First off, the TankRunner Discord has gone live. We already have a decent amount of people who've joined up, and I've had a great time so far talking to everybody about Pokemon, D&D, video games, movies, all kinds of stuff. I'd love to see you guys over there after you're done with today's video. The link's down in the description. Also, I want to make sure everyone knows that I have something really special planned for my next video. It'll be coming out on Halloween and will mark the 1-year anniversary for my channel. That being said, I don't want to compete with your Halloween plans, so the video will premiere live here on YouTube at midnight. Now, don't get confused. This is happening the instant it becomes Halloween. So, if you want to watch the video live with me and the other Tonks, make sure you're there at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on the 30th. If you show up Halloween night, you missed it. I'll be taking full advantage of the season and will be leaning heavily into the Halloween spirit, so come prepared for a strong start to your Halloween festivities. I hope to see you there. Last episode, we were heading south down the eastern coast of our region, but because this is October, I want to derail us a little bit. Instead of heading to Route 2 from the original wild area, we're going to instead head north to Route 5. Route 5 cuts through a massive forest that's usually covered in a dense layer of fog. You can technically head off the path if you want, but it is not advised. Most people steer clear of this forest specifically, but if a trainer is brave enough, traversing this haunting location can net them some pretty impressive Pokemon at a relatively low level. I was saving this ghost-type area for when we finished up the lower half of the mainland, but this is one of my favorite times of the year, and I can't think of any better time to cover a bunch of ghost Pokemon. But it won't just be these new Halloween-themed Pokemon we'll be able to see. Here's the full list of all the Pokemon you can catch in the area, from most common to rare, with open slots for the new Pokemon designs I'm about to show off. Let's get started. When I sat down to start working on designs, I decided that I wanted to base each of the Pokemon on a stereotypical monster or concept connected to the season. That being said, our first line today changes concepts a little bit with each evolution, so it might not make sense at first. This one's a bit of a slow burn, but you'll see where I'm going with all of this in just a minute. Betabulb, the beetle Pokemon. Betabulb are very friendly creatures who are virtually incapable of physical harm. However, they are still the cause of many missing people in any region they call home, due to the welcoming glow that radiates through its crystal-like carapace. Betabulb are rarely spotted outside of deep brush, so when seen, eager trainers will chase after these Pokemon in an attempt to catch them. While the Betabulb may be playing at the time, they are unwittingly leading these trainers further away from civilization, most likely to never be seen again. So the first evolution for this line is leaning in the direction of spiritual energy, like ectoplasm. So I gave it a background very reminiscent of a will-o-wisp. There's a lot of things that something like that could potentially be able to do, and possession came to mind. Not like exorcist possession, but like jumping into objects, small scale stuff. I started thinking about it, and not a lot of classic monsters are tied to necrotic power giving them a second chance at life. Not ones that I would want to use for inspiration for a Pokemon anyway. I didn't want to use vampires or zombies or anything like that, and then it hit me. It's so classic that it didn't even register to me. A skeleton. A walking around, powered by the dead, playing your ribs like a xylophone, skeleton. Once I connected those dots, I had my idea. Hexacross, the evolved form of Betabulb. All Betabulb are relatively the same small, compact size, and stay that way until the moments right before evolving. The energy that they hold inside themselves will grow to such a degree that their carapace will no longer be able to contain it. During this event, it is advised that trainers retreat to a safe distance, as the flare of ectoplasm and broken shards from the Betabulb's shattered carapace can cause severe damage to exposed skin. The result of this transformation is Hexacross, whose exoskeleton has become solid and less brittle. It is important to note that this Pokemon still produces large amounts of spiritual energy, more than it could ever utilize. So it releases this ectoplasm through a mantle of green flame that burns from its back. I see that this line is starting to look more like a fighting type, and I know you guys are starting to get a little salty about all the fighting types, which I don't really see as a problem yet. We're not even halfway done with the region. 8 fighting types out of 151 is not a lot, but regardless, this line is gonna give both of us what we want. Now that Hexacross has become our stand-in for a skeleton, I want to go one step further and make its evolved form give off a bit more of an undead warrior vibe. This Pokemon will keep the bug ghost typing, but will learn a lot of physical attacks and fighting moves. Not necessarily fighting type moves, but fighting adjacent. Hexacross, the evolved form of Hexacross. Hexacross is a very proud and noble warrior. Every combat it participates in, it takes personally, as if the battle is among a long line of battles it must win to reach its goal. It fights as if it were a vengeful spirit, tracking down the ones who have betrayed it. Hexacross brings passion into everything that it does, with a fire that can feel overwhelming to many. Raising this Pokemon can seem very one-sided to the inexperienced. So it's recommended that before a trainer catches a Hexacross, that they be willing and able to put in the time to understand the emotional needs of these Pokemon. While I got your attention, I want to take the time to thank those of you who came by my first live stream last weekend. As of writing this, I haven't actually done the stream yet, so hopefully it went well. If you missed it or weren't able to make it, don't worry. I'll be editing the whole descent into madness down into a video of a much more digestible viewing experience. Morbus, the Ibis Pokemon. When a small Morbus feels threatened, it will excrete a sickening smell from its feathers that dissuades would-be attackers. These Pokemon are also very fast and leave little to no trace, which makes tracking down one of these creatures a difficult task. If the stench and speed are not enough, and the Morbus is backed into a corner or forced into a confrontation, these Pokemon will use their powerful legs to kick and scratch at their opponent until there's a chance to flee. From what you've seen so far, you know Morbus is based on the Ibis, a bird from Australia that is lovingly referred to as a bin chicken. They have a bunch of other nicknames for this thing too, but it mostly comes back to the same main attribute. They f***ing smell like hot garbage. This, and the fact that they hold many kinds of bacteria that are actually harmful to humans, made me immediately think of some kind of reverse plague doctor. We make a creature that uses its scent to spread sickness. And we can even take the spiritual undertones of the plague doctor and use those to our advantage too. A lot of people forget that back then, people kind of thought that diseases were just ghosts and demons picking on you, and doctors would dress up to scare them away so they could continue doing their job of sticking leeches on people or telling somebody that they had too much or too little shit in their body. Not a metaphor, literal shit. Thank for modern medicine. Miasmus, the evolved form of Morbus. An ethereal vapor tends to signal the presence of a miasmus. The ebb and flow of this noxious air pushes trainers and prey alike to exactly where this Pokemon wants them to be. The true dangers of a miasmus are hard to miss, as all the highly poisonous surfaces on the Pokemon are highlighted with a bright green and yellow color. While hunting, miasmus will lead a target towards their perch. Once drawn in by the odor, miasmus will use their strong wings to cage in their opponent, allowing it to rend and peck at their prey with little chance of escape. For this next design, I wanted to create a Pokemon based on what might be the most iconic Halloween costume there is, the Sheet Ghost. I don't think there's anything more concentrated Halloween than that. Speaking of, if you haven't ever done this and you're looking for an early October spoop, go ahead and Google what Halloween costumes used to look like back in the early 1900s, before everyone just bought superhero costumes from a f***ing Target. You're welcome, or I'm sorry, depending on your reaction. Phobu, the flying fox Pokemon. Phobu love the idea of scaring others, especially if they're bigger than themselves. But due to their looks, personality, and skill, this is completely impossible. Phobu will attempt to sneak up on unknowing trainers with their head tucked far back into their hood. And when they decide that they're close enough to their prey, they begin making a unique combination of soft growling, wailing, and roaring sounds. But even when a prepared Phobu gets the jump on their target, they are usually received as adorable and harmless. I just finished up a Sheet Ghost Pokemon, so now I want to go for more of a Ring Wraith aesthetic for the evolved form. Same general theme, just a bit more metal. I have to say, I'm not normally a fan of ghost types, but making a whole episode dedicated to them and coming up with interesting new twists on the idea of what can be a ghost type, it's been a lot of fun. Bansheko, the evolved form of Fobu. Unlike its little sibling, Bansheko has perfected the art of the scare. Their long cloaks allow them to blend in with the cover of darkness, waiting for the opportune moment to unleash a high-pitched wail. Most trainers become petrified upon hearing this terrifying sound, as it's been known to cause hallucinations, and their Pokemon are left no better off, making them confused and disorientated. Regardless of the effects, Bansheko see this as harmless fun, and get no better source of pride or pleasure than seeing how big of an opponent they can frighten in the least amount of time. "53 Pokemon down, 98 to go. How do you guys think I did? I feel like I've added some weird options to the ghost type category without just making more ghosts. Before you head out, don't forget about my next upload being a live premiere on Halloween. All the details are down in the description of when and where if you skip that part of the video. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. If you want to take a crack at drawing any of the prompts I've done, or you want to send me some artwork to help flesh out some of my worlds, please send them to me over on my Twitter or the new Discord. I love to see what you guys make. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.